Hey guys, Curious Hobbyist here. Like my new channel name? I think you're on the right track, because I don't think a lot of people would search for or click on my nickname. And as a YouTube content creator focused on uploading interesting videos like this one, that's not exactly what I want for my channel. Anyways, welcome back. Today, I'll be updating you guys on the game Super Fancy Pants Adventure by Brad Bourne. If you haven't watched the first video I made on what I did to this game, click on the top right or follow the link below. So, let's begin. The first thing I'll start with is that there actually is a level selection screen that appears later in the game. In the Tree Pirate Village area, you encounter a ship and fight a boss. From there, a pirate map is always available in the escape menu, and can be found in various places throughout the game. Clicking or running into it brings you to this level selection screen. So it's not like you can't go back to the basement spire where you started the game at all, thank God. But I would have still expected a multi-profile interface or at least a way to reset your data in the game in the first place. And this isn't that. But I'll leave it up to you to decide whether to be driven away by that. To be clear, I'm not saying I don't like the game. I'm just saying that I'm simply baffled by these limitations. The game has also been updated recently, and as a result, I noticed the game is significantly slower. That's completely baffling. Why is that? Well, the update does have some new levels, but I don't think it would be the result of that. Unless those levels have been updated in some strange way. But maybe it's a flaw in an optimization update. So just for your info, my computer is a Mac Mini made in late 2014, and it's running macOS High Sierra. If you have the game and installed this update on a different computer, please let me know below in the comments if you have the same issue. To be clear, I installed this update around Christmas in 2017, so if you install a future update, that might be fixed. One of the things that came with this update as well is a new FPA World 1 remix, which is a remix of the first FPA Flash game. However, I noticed another issue in that game. When I collected hats from certain enemies, the game crashed the first 2 times I did that, and I would have to restart it. Again, I want to know if any of you had the same problem. Okay, let's check out the game's files. In the resources folder, I noticed this Gamepad file, which I don't think was there before. Also, in the levels folder, there's 4 more folders aside from World 4. These include Arcade, which contains the race stages from another arcade cabinet in this update. Custom and Extra, which contains custom and extra levels of some sort. And World 1, which contains the levels in the World 1 remix you just saw. I also noticed 4 FLA files in the custom folder. What are FLA files? An FLA file is an animation project created by Adobe Animate, a program used to draw and publish interactive animations. It contains graphics, video, text elements, audio, and other assets. FLA files are often saved as SWF files for use on the web, as they are viewable in most web browsers with the Flash plugin. So based on that, maybe I could change one of the extensions of the FLA files, and use that to replace something else. So let's find out. Typically, a level named Level 0A is the first level in a place like Squiggleville Plains. Because I'd played the game already when I checked out its files, I didn't know which file to swap, but now that I can access the level select, I know this. So now, I'll copy the sfpa.swf file to the World 1 folder and rename it as Level 1 in the new World 1 remix. Then of course, I'll start the game and play the World 1 remix. The game does attempt to load the level, but then it realizes it's invalid and freezes. So then I wondered what would happen if I swapped the names of levels 1 and 2 and started the game. Well, that doesn't seem to work either. So what if I did the same thing with one of the FLA files and changed the extension? So what the game did is it respawned me back where I was before loading the level. Now let's do the same thing with one of the Flash files from that same folder. Interestingly, that works. I would assume it's because this is actually a level. Also, these shapes and platforms look pretty similar to the ones in the Arena 1 level I messed with in my last video. So this could be what that level actually looks like. But when I open this other Flash file, I can see those boring shapes are right where the platforms are. So I assume that these shapes are actually the collision for the platforms and some sort of weird error has caused them to show. However, the same custom level in the other arcade cabinet looks the same when I played it normally. Another thing is that the music playing is dependent on what level the game thinks you're playing, aka where the file is located and its name. So the music playing now is of course standard music. I also want to try starting that same level as if it's the Arena 1 fight level, which is kind of similar to Smash Bros. So I replaced that in this app beforehand. The music playing here is different. It's the original SFPA boss music. And we can also brawl computer players in any level we want. How cool is that? I also noticed that I could change the window size vertically and horizontally, and this had some pretty interesting effects. First, I tried it while playing the game. You can see the ends of the background when I changed the window size horizontally, and everything individually maintained its original aspect ratio. Next, I tried this in the pause menu. As you can see, the same things happen to the main game, but all of the icons in the pause menu are distorted. The smaller I make it, the greater the effect. I also wanted to go to the level selection map and try it. I also want to point out that changing the window size is just really laggy. So here, the map just stays centered and maintains its aspect ratio, revealing a background that doesn't for some reason. And there's this strange line on the right of the map. Also, I noticed the vertical edges of the background in this level selection screen are wider than the other two, and as a result, it only looks perfectly centered at the normal window size. And yeah, the game just looks plain weird when you change that. So I think the next update should prevent the aspect ratio of the window from changing in the first place. But honestly, I care about that less than a multi-profile interface, an elfing way to reset your data in this game. Please think about this, Bradborn. So I'm curious about what some of this stuff was like before the update, and not to mention what I could transfer between the two versions. And I wish I'd backed up that whole app before updating it. Too late, and it may not even have worked. Who knows? But that also adds to the curiosity. Oh well. Now I wonder what would happen when I start the World 1 remix if I removed level 1. I accidentally selected the 2-player option, and the computer player just doesn't move. So is this because of what I did? What would happen normally? Let's find out. And this time, I'll try the race stage. I found that these players aren't controlled by the computer. They're probably actually human players, which must be what the Gamepad functionality is for. Because I doubt anyone would have 4 keyboards. So I actually have an MFI Nimbus SteelSeries controller I want to test that out with. So I'll connect it through Bluetooth to my computer and select the Gamepad option in the pause menu. This message says one find Y as opposed to nothing find. So that's a good sign. But if this is a typo or mistake, it should be updated. And so should the serif font. But again, the screwed saving seems relatively urgent to me. Well, since I have it connected, let's try to follow the setup. Wow, it actually works. So let's finish going through it and see if the controls actually work. Well, they do, so the Nimbus SteelSeries is definitely SFPA approved. Now I can go forth and be fancy in style. But even for games that don't include Gamepad support, you can use a program called Enjoyable. I'll put a link to where you can get that. To use it, connect your controller to your computer via Bluetooth and open the program. From there, you can press anything on the controller to select the input you want to map a keyboard or mouse input to, or even switch to different mappings, which opens up a whole new way to use a controller. It can even import and export mappings as .enjoyable files. I also want to see if you can still fall off a small platform infinitely and not take damage. Yep, you can still do this glitch to avoid landing, avoid damage, and fall infinitely. Let's call this the infinite skydive glitch. I also want to see if you can still enter a door after losing a life. Yep, and you still respawn right at the other side, whereas normally... But if there is one thing I hate way more than this, it's not being able to reset my game progress at all. It's just awesome. Of course, there's one last thing I need to show you. I had to check out what would happen when I recorded and then zoomed in on the smallest size I could make this window. It looks extremely 8-bit. It honestly looks gorgeous to me, the way all the details just shimmer. I do want to say I had trouble clicking on certain pause menu options because this kept happening. This unfortunately means all the options on the right are out of the question, unless someone has a way to fix it. Then I went back to the basement spire area and back to the house at the top. The outlines of all the windows in the house are only 1 pixel wide and flicker a lot. And overall, this is really interesting. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If so, feel free to like it, share with family and friends, subscribe for more videos, and comment below. By the way, I just learned to schedule my video publish times. So from now on, I'll try to upload new videos every Sunday. These videos take a lot of time in editing, so if you like these videos, please let me know. And if you want dedicated footage of that unfathomably small window, please let me know as well. I don't have that much attention at the moment anyway, so this is that golden time where I'm more likely to respond to your requests. Happy New Year, and as always, thanks for watching.